Hey, Mike with Vanco Care here, and would you like a simple way to run your preschool more effectively? Well, in today's video, I'll be walking you through 5 key questions you need to ask in your parent questionnaires for preschools, so let's get into it. Now, first thing before we jump into the list, there's actually several things that you want to ask in a parent questionnaire for preschoolers, and we'll cover a bit more on that at the end of the video. But in addition to those foundation questions, these are 5 key questions you want to ask parents in your preschool questionnaire. So the first thing you want to ask is to have parents list their children's natural strengths. The reason for this is it can give you some specific insight on a children's different strengths and also how they might learn. And with this knowledge, it can give you some insight on what you might need to focus on with that child to compensate for what they're good at or maybe not good at. And that can really help you enhance the learning experience for that child. So for example, it might tell you that they're more visual learners or audio learners, or that they might like more hands-on activities to help them learn. So this is definitely a great question to ask in your parent questionnaire for preschool. The second question you want to ask is, what skills do you want your child to learn this year? Now, certainly you won't be able to accommodate every single thing that a parent lists in this section, but at the same time, again, it gives you some insight of what they want their children to learn and how you might be able to structure your program. So if you find that a lot of parents are saying the same type of things, it can be a great thing to cover in your program. Or if it's really something simple that you maybe never had considered, it could be a great thing to add to your program, because if one parent is interested in having their kids learn that skill, likely others are as well. And again, this is really why parents are paying your program or sending their kids to your program, is they want them to learn and have a great experience. So within reason, if you can customize your program to fit what your parents are looking for, that can go a long way. All right, the next question you want to ask is to describe your child's personality. This can really give you some great insight on who's shy, maybe who's outgoing, who's really chatty, who has maybe a tendency to get in a little trouble, different things like that. And when you have that information, that can help you organize your classroom more effectively. It can also give you some insight on maybe how you want to encourage those that might be shy in your program to become more outgoing, or to separate those two kids that are really outgoing and don't put them next to each other to make sure your classroom can stay on track, different things like that. And it should definitely be a question you ask in your parent questionnaire for preschool. The next question you want to ask is, what languages do you speak at home? This again can give you some valuable insight and really understand that not every family is going to be speaking English full-time at home. For some, English is a second language. For others, maybe they've never even spoken English before. And this is important knowledge to have, because you might see a child in your program that's very quiet, or they seem shy, but in reality, they may not just understand what you're saying. Or maybe again, English is a second language for them, and they understand bits and pieces, and they often get confused, and you might think they have troubles learning, but in reality, they just are struggling to understand what you're even saying. So again, this is a great question to ask because it can give you insight on how you might help these children succeed. Maybe you spend a little bit more time on English with them if that's a focus of your program, or potentially you have a bilingual teacher and putting them in that classroom could work better for that child versus an English-only classroom. So certainly add this question in your parent questionnaire for preschool as well. All right, the next question you want to ask is, what holidays do you celebrate at home? This is important because it can help you understand that child's culture, and it can also help you make that child feel included in your program. So if they celebrate different holidays that you weren't planning on covering in your classroom, that could be an option to cover that and make them feel recognized and feel important. You can also ask those parents if they're comfortable with you covering more on that holiday and more on that culture, as it can gain exposure for the other children in your program to learn more about those holidays and that culture, which can help improve diversity in your program and make children more accepting of different cultures. And then you can also ask those parents if it's okay if you talk about holidays that they maybe don't celebrate, to make sure that you don't offend that family by talking about different holidays or celebrations that they may not believe in. So it's a great way to get some insight on the culture of the students in your program and create a welcoming, diverse environment in your program. Now again, like I mentioned, there's several other base questions that you want to ask to get some general information about your students when they come into your program. So it can be things around their physical development, their communication skills, their behavior and emotional states, their sleep habits or nap habits, different eating habits, potty training habits, important medical information, parent expectations, and religious habits as well, and much more. So again, those are some general ideas that you certainly want to include in your questionnaire, but definitely ask these 5 key questions we covered in this video, as it can give you some great insight to the new students coming into your program. But again, hopefully you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, as it really helps out the channel. And if you'd like more effective ways to run your program and improve your childcare management, we put together a free guide on optimizing and automating your childcare management system, which can help you scale your business, improve efficiency, and increase enrollments for your program. So if you'd like to download that, there'll be a link in the description below where you can do so. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications to get the latest updates of new videos we put out. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.